Hi, I'm Greg from Geek Channel. Starting a vlog? Just want a cool 4K camera? I will help you to decide. Stay with us. Nowadays there are vlogger-oriented cameras such as Sony ZV-1. Do you need a camera? Maybe cell phone will do? Maybe you need a higher-end camera? Let's find it out together. When the light is good, most cameras will do just fine. But when the light conditions are challenging, then things become pretty nasty. So let's see what happens with a high-end camera in not so good light conditions, with a cell phone, and with Sony ZV-1. Right now the light is good, and we have high-end camera Sony Alpha 7 III. This camera is known for very good low light performance. Let's start making light conditions more challenging. We turned off our studio light. And now we'll turn off all lights. Oh, that's scary. It's scary, it's so dark here. Oh my. Do you see me? Yeah, that's Sony Alpha 7 III. Let's make the things a little bit more scary. I'll turn off the monitor. Oh my, I don't see myself. Wow, that's really dark. Do you see me? I'm scared. And this is my cell phone, Samsung Galaxy Ultra S21. And now we have the studio light on. And now the studio light is off. Let's make it even more challenging. And now all lights are off. Do you still see me? Oh, it's dark and scary. I don't see myself. But do you see me with my cell phone? I guess not. And now the Sony ZV-1 with my studio light on. Let's turn the studio light off and see what happens. The studio light is off. The sensor of Sony ZV-1 is really amazing 1-inch sensor. I will tell you about the sensors a little bit more, but a little bit later in this video. And now let's turn off the light and see what happens. Oh, do you see me? The camera recognizes me, it's trying to do some gain. Yeah, I see myself. Cool. Amazing processing and high gain. But let's make it even more challenging. I'll turn off the monitor. That is a real darkness. It's scary. And you don't see me. And now let's talk about sensors. Most of cameras have now CMOS sensors. First generation of CMOS sensors was front-side illuminated, which means that it had metal wiring before the photodiode. So it was losing a lot of light and the sensors were not very sensitive. Later on there was backside illuminated sensors where the wiring was below the photodiode, so it was much more sensitive. Sony sensors with the backside illumination called Exmor-R. The next generation of sensors from Sony is Exmor-RS. Those are stacked sensors with very fast readout with DRAM, and Sony ZV-1 has this more advanced sensor. So why the image quality of Sony A7 III is still better? Why it's more sensitive? Because the size matters. Sony ZV-1 has 1-inch sensor, which is pretty small, while the A7 III has full-frame sensor. The larger sensor you have, more sensitivity you have, because you have larger pixels and they get more light. We did a test indoors with challenging light conditions. You may say that's unfair to some cameras with a smaller sensor. Now we're going to test our cameras outdoors in challenging audio conditions. We have wind. Let's see how those cameras cope with the wind. Now you hear my voice with Sony A7 III. This is very capable 4K camera, but it's not vlogger oriented. It does have a built-in microphone, but without a windshield. So how do you hear me? It's very windy here. Now you hear my voice with Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra. How do I sound? Do you hear me loud and clear? Now you hear my voice from Sony ZV-1, compact vlogger-oriented camera. Do you hear me well? We're back to our studio. Outdoors you could see nice mirage and far shots. Those are particles in the air. As you could hear, wind is a big challenge, and dedicated cameras still produce more detailed images than a cell phone. Sony ZV-1 is a very versatile vlogger-oriented camera. It captures 4K video from oversampled 6K, and there is no crop in 4K if you are not using active image stabilization, which is digital image stabilization. It has two types of image stabilizations: standard, which is optical, and active, which is digital. Comparing with most 4K capable cameras in this price range, this is the only camera which shoots 4K without crop. When you shoot 4K from a crop, you lose wide angle of the lens. It has Zeiss zoom lens with a very good aperture, and I think it's much more versatile than ZV-1F. Also, there is ZV-E10, which is close in price range with the kit lens, but kit lens is not fast. So I still think that despite the bigger sensor of ZV-E10, ZV-1 is more versatile with its Zeiss zoom lens. To prevent stopping recording of 4K video at about 5 minutes, you need change setting of this camera. Set auto power off temperature to high. Sony ZV-1 battery life is really poor, and it comes without a charger. So you need to connect this camera to a charger with a USB cable and charge the battery inside the camera. Of course, I would recommend purchase external charger and more batteries for the camera, especially if you are going to shoot outdoors. Indoors, if you are shooting at your studio, this camera allows operating while charging. Sony a7 III is the base model, and still it's a very capable camera, including 4K video. It is shooting 4K video from oversampling 6K and at 24 frames per second without a crop. The internal microphone has no wind protection, and at our outdoor test you could hear the artifacts. To take full advantage of this camera, you need to purchase a good lens. In my opinion, the kit lens is just not enough. I saw several reviews on YouTube comparing a7 III with ZV-1, and the video quality was very close. Why? I'm sure it's because of the lens. As you can see, this Zeiss 55mm lens gives much better image quality. In my opinion, if you start a vlog, Sony ZV-1 is the camera of your choice. Its price-performance ratio is absolutely unmatched if you are shooting 4K video. And still, when your channel will grow, this camera can be used as a second camera. Like the Sony a7 III, the ZV-1 has picture profiles, including H-log, S-log, which allows you adjust colors and dynamic range in post-production. And just in general, ZV-1 has amazing sensor, like most of Sony cameras. But in that price range, there are absolutely no real competitors with the same performance. The camera isn't perfect, it has some imperfections like poor battery life, it doesn't have EVF, so it will be difficult shoot outdoors with a direct sunlight. But that's pretty amazing camera, and 1-inch sensor for shooting video is really great. You can get better image quality, but it will cost you a lot more. So now you got the tools to decide which camera is best for you. Please share in comments and let me know which camera is the camera of your choice. Please subscribe to get notifications for our new videos. See you soon! This is how we're hiking in nature and testing our equipment.
Да-да, давай.
Да? Today the weather is very windy. Sony ZV-1 has this rabbit table. Sony ZV-1 has this rabbit tail, which should help
Стоп.